Philippi, and we want to read Matthew's record of this, found in the 16th chapter of the book of Matthew, beginning at verse 13. When Jesus came unto the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He saith unto them, But whom say ye that I am? Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. This has been a center of pagan worship for years and years, even before the Lord Jesus Christ came here. Some of the things that you're seeing here was done during the time that the Greeks, this carving and even some Greek inscriptions that are written here. This was done during the time that the Greeks ruled this particular part of this country here. Also, here directly behind me is a pagan that was used as a pagan temple. The Greeks worshiped the god Pan, and so this was the temple of the god Pan that was here. Here the Jordan River begins, and a current of water flows out of this mountain, and it's the very head of the Jordan River. So this has been a place that the pagans have worshiped the devil for years and years. But Jesus stood in the midst of this and said, Upon this rock I will build my church. Upon the revelation that Peter received from the Father, that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Peter said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus said, Flesh and blood hath not revealed this unto thee. I'm glad that every individual can have a personal encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ and have a knowing in his spirit that he knows Christ in a personal way. This is the rock upon which the very church is built. In fact, here's where he first mentions the church. Now, when he uses the word church about what his people would be like, he doesn't use the word synagogue that was used during that time, but he uses the word church. Now, this word is found 3 times in the 19th chapter of the book of Acts, and all 3 times it applies to church government. To city government. And actually, the church is to be God's government upon this earth. God originally gave it to Adam in Genesis chapter 1. He said, Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So in covenant relationship, God has given that authority to man, and the kingdom of heaven that Jesus talked about when he said, I give unto you the keys, the authority of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. And so here he made the declaration in the very center of where that pagan worship and the worship of the devil had taken place for years and years. And so thank God for the privilege that we have of being on this particular site.
For one thing, I've never been here when there's not a people here. This is great.
The name of the site that we are right now has 2 names. It is the biblical site of Caesarea Philippi, but it is also known before then as Panias, P-A-N-I-A-S, Panias, named after the Greek mythological god Pan, who was the god of shepherds, or sometimes call him the god of nature. He was half gazelle, half young boy with little horns on his head, played the flute and chased nymphs through the forests. Well, it was named after him by the Greeks. This was a pagan city. Just above us over here, you can see some of the niches in the walls where they had many of the pagan idols. This used to be the entrance of the cave, a pagan temple. Now you're looking at the bottom over here, the source of the Jordan River. The Jordan River's 3 tributaries forming into one. This is called the Banyas. Now I didn't say Panias just now, I said Banyas. Why? Because this area was later on taken on by the Muslims, and it was in the Arab tongue. They cannot pronounce P. P comes out B. So therefore we have Banyas instead of Panias. Going back in history once again, When King Herod the Great dies, this area falls into the realm of one of his sons, Philip. Now, being like his father and his brothers, they named all their cities after the Caesars. Once again, their lifelong ambition is to appease and to please the Romans. He names this town or this city Caesarea. But so that people will not mistaken it for the Caesarea by the sea, he adds on his own name to it. Therefore, it's known as Caesarea Philippi, after himself. Later on, after the revolt against Rome, in the year 70, Vespasian has his victory celebrations over the capturing and destroying of Jerusalem here at Caesarea Philippi. Many of the Jewish captives taken from Jerusalem fight to the death in the arena to entertain the Roman troops. Later on in the centuries, this is also a fortified city by the Crusaders to guard the road going up to Damascus. The road to Damascus is just beyond us over there. Perhaps maybe the same road that Paul took going up to Damascus. In later years, it fell into Muslim hands, and up until 1967, this was a resort area for Syrian army officers. In 1966, they tried to prevent the flow of the Jordan into the Sea of Galilee, which would have been the complete tragedy for the Israeli people, being that it's most of the drinking water of the state of Israel. Of course, the Israelis retaliated with an airstrike, and then the Syrians said, nah, I don't think it's a good idea, and that's the end of that. This area was taken by the Israeli forces in the Six-Day War in 1967. This is part of the Golan Heights. As far as the Israeli government is concerned, this is not occupied land. It's been officially annexed to the state of Israel under the auspices of Menachem Begin, the Prime Minister, in 1982. Thank you very much.